Hello, welcome to the Tactical Square with you, Amin Amor, to analyze this final of the Champions League between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. Without giving a lot of big introduction, we're going to talk about what happened in the field, what was the first scenario of the play that was a little bit disturbing Paris Saint-Germain and how Paris Saint-Germain dealt with it. So let's start. Here, as you can see, Bayern Munich started to build not with a very high line. They were close. The players were close to the box. So we have here a quick reminder of who was playing: Neuer, Boateng. Here in the midfield, Thiago, who was coming a little bit, but not in the first scenario that we will talk about. Thiago Alcantara, Goretzka in the midfield. Here, Alaba, Davis, Kimmich, and in the attack, in the right winger is Gnabry, left winger Coman, not Perisic, Lewandowski and Müller always moving to help and to move. And we will see how. So Paris Saint-Germain played with Bernat, here in the right Kerrer, Thiago Silva, Kimpembe, Navas, Marquinhos. Here in the midfield played with Ander Herrera. Here Paredes, Di Maria. On the left side, at first Mbappe, and then Neymar. So the first scenario was that, as I said, Bayern Munich didn't play with a very high line in the build-up. They played really close. What happened? Thiago Alcantara moved a little bit here. Who came to help in getting out the ball? Müller was moving here, trying to straighten always the side where the ball was moving. So what happened? All this, why Goretzka played here, is to play the balls here in the half space. In the half space, to have those passes in the half space. So here Goretzka played because why? What happened from PSG is that here Neymar was pressing Neuer. So he was immediately beaten by Alaba. As I said, the midfielders of PSG gave a reasonable distance, but that doesn't mean that all went okay, because here Goretzka had the space. Then what was happening? The fullbacks were moving a little bit higher, were causing problems to the fullbacks of Paris Saint-Germain in stepping out or staying, because here Coman was making those movements, trying to receive here. Gnabry more often tried to receive here, also in the half space. Same scenario happened, and then always Müller trying to make runs behind the fullbacks of PSG. So what happened is that PSG couldn't intervene here in the first scenario. Ander Herrera wasn't here moving to Goretzka, but they are attracting players. Thiago is equilibrating the other side, and you have the first scenario is playing here to the half space, and then he can turn. But we saw that the returns of Marquinhos having the ball, and then sometimes PSG in the offensive transition failed to go directly, but more often they succeed. And sometimes they try to go first with Navas, but then what I miss in PSG, first we have to talk about Kimpembe, who was always ready. Maybe if you saw the quarterfinal, semi-final of PSG, Kimpembe was not always paying attention to always, as the ball is played here, for example, to Navas, or when we recover the ball, when we have to go back and to make the pitch bigger, he used to stay in here and maybe killing the space. Now it wasn't the case in the final. Always opening, always be ready, always try to play, always in a good position to play the ball here. So I think I think that Kimpembe played a role, but Paredes, if Paredes or Ander Herrera or Marquinhos, when this option was used to go back and try to build the play, a lot of balls that were lost by Paris Saint-Germain, and that was soon recovered by Bayern Munich, and then they tried. The other thing that they tried to how to beat this scenario is another time Goretzka is very high, Goretzka coming here, and Thiago Alcantara very high. The first line is beaten a little bit here, and then what happened is that Thiago came back here, they played two, and then they had the space because Kimmich is moving here. Mbappe was not always paying attention in the right moment to come back. He can play in his back, and then a lot of things happened here. A lot of things. He was trying to come, but sometimes late. Paredes was out of position. So here, always here, trying to come back with this shape of 2 plus 2 here, with fullbacks really moving high, and then create a 3v3 here or 3v2. And we don't forget that Lewandowski, whether it was in the left side or in the right side, always trying to strengthen this side, this active area of Bayern Munich, and to help first for the ball, and if the ball is lost, immediate counter pressing. The other scenario that tried PSG to stop Bayern Munich is when the ball is played here to Kimmich, is really to move here. They will gradually moving to the other side. For example, the winger starting from here, having to mark, as I said in my previous video, in the preview, it would be good if the winger marked at the same time the fullback and the center back, letting a reasonable distance to intervene. Here, if Neymar was really trying to make those efforts, I think that people are unjust with Neymar. Neymar was helping in the pressing. I think he was misused this time, and I will say why. I will say why in the next scenario. But let's watch this scenario. So if Neymar was playing here, I think here Di Maria, this is what was happening. Di Maria tried here to come on the other center back to not let the ball play. But what happened, and always this shape of the L shape with Müller or Gnabry, always preparing for the third man runs for Bayern Munich, trying to cause problems in the back of Bernat here. But what I miss is sometimes that Paredes was not in the right timing on Thiago, and Thiago always managed to here get out the ball and try to link the play. Then what did Paris Saint-Germain, what those two, whether it's Ander Herrera or who was staying, anyone who was staying, whether it's Ander Herrera or Paredes and Marquinhos, let's say now Paredes is out and Ander Herrera and Marquinhos have to play, you can only not fix the problem, but try to reduce the speed of the play. But the problem was here, is that Bayern Munich had the occasions and had more justness in their transmissions. This was a problem. So you can slow the action a little bit by trying to be here and invite them to go out, both of you. But there was always a problem because I don't think they were not always helping. The wingers were not always helping. They were more staying for counter-attack aims. But you have first to recover the ball, then think about the counter-attack, and you have to make yourself available always. So the wingers, even though they were, of course, sometimes we saw that Paris Saint-Germain in the last quarter, they led the ball to Bayern Munich and they came back. But I mean, while all this is happening in this scenario, if Di Maria he was really high and he couldn't come back, for example. So we will see in the next scenario what happened and why I say that for myself I think that Neymar was misused, and you will see why. The other scenario of pressing for Paris Saint-Germain, and what I found a little bit not good, is that Neymar here is only preventing here Boateng to play to the other side. Who is coming on Thiago Alcantara, and who came more often here for pressing Thiago Alcantara? It was Ander Herrera, and I don't find this a good thing. Why? Because while all this happening, how many players Paredes have in his back? Two players here in his back. How many players, because Goretzka now can go a little bit and can take the option of coming here. How many players you have to deal with? For example, for Marquinhos, we saw that Marquinhos sometimes, as the ball is progressing, he don't know if he's coming here, he don't know if he's have to go here. He did the effort, but all this is using his concentration in the game. All this he is running after the ball. All this he have players that can a little bit cause him troubles in his back. It's not easy to play this way. So, for example, for me, it was more to press here. It was better to press Thiago, because as the ball is progressing, Thiago is taking Ander Herrera. So I prefer here to play with Ander Herrera, with Neymar, and let Ander Herrera here on Goretzka, and maybe coming after for transitions, and let those wingers pressing from far the center backs, and having a reasonable reason that they can intervene on the full backs here, and shadow press the fullbacks that were the danger was coming also from the fullbacks of Bayern Munich, and we know that they count on them to play here and to create 5v4 or even 6v5 in the last third, with Davis and Kimmich at the last third. It was better for me to press with Di Maria and Neymar and Mbappe, but to press Thiago Alcantara, not to press the center back tight. If they go slowly, then make the angles difficult for Thiago Alcantara, because when Ander Herrera is coming, he's coming from this side. He can take him with his right foot. He can play with him. He was taking more good decisions than stopping him. It wasn't always efficient for myself. It wasn't always efficient on the field, and this is a problematic. We saw in the last of the first half, it happened one time, and it was almost causing a 1v1 for Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich, when Ander Herrera came first on Thiago Alcantara. Then he said to Neymar, press with me, because he had to go on the fullback, not the wingers who was going on the fullback, because the wingers of Paris Saint-Germain stayed only on the center backs, and this was a problem for me. So Ander Herrera go in the fullback, and then who came back to strengthen this? Neymar. And then Paris Saint-Germain managed here to have the ball. They were compact, but Ander Herrera, while recovering the ball and passing to Neymar, he made a foul. I think that if they press this way, they can manage more the wingers, and they cannot have players in their backs. I think this was problematic for PSG, and I think it's here where they missed the match, and it's here where they missed the battle of the midfield. If only Neymar could press Thiago Alcantara, I think it's going to be better. This is why in my preview I talked about playing with Di Maria in the midfield instead of Ander Herrera, and for transitions purposes, and to play with Sarabia on the wings. So I think this was a problem. This was a problem for PSG, even though now my tactical table has fallen down. But this was a problem for Paris Saint-Germain, and I think that they could better reduce the space if they pressed like this. Your wingers are very high, when your midfielder is very high, and all this happens without being efficient and without reducing the space for the others, and the passes are progressing. What is happening in the box, like we saw in the goal, they are in an inferiority, whether Thiago Silva have to be on Lewandowski, not Kerrer. Kerrer is coming on Lewandowski, and then he's having Coman in his back, and you don't have to blame, and you don't have to blame the defenders. You have to blame the setup in front, because if you prevent the space efficiently, your defenders will more have the superiority than the contrary. But the contrary was happening, and two times after the goal, one time after the goal, it happened again. Situation of a superiority in the box without PSG they couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't do anything about it when they were in an inferiority. It was just Bayern Munich that missed the chance. Not to make it a long video, but let's talk just about Bayern Munich, how they managed to then manage the match in a positive way after the yellow card of Davis and after scoring the goal. Let's see how they manage a little bit. Set up. Now they understood that anyways they're going to have here in zone 14 the superiority for Bayern Munich, and if not, freezing defenders and then having spaces in their back and having opportunities of crosses. So Davis, he told him to not anymore step forward. Kimmich was playing here after the yellow card, and even before the goal they played like this, and Coman here on the left, Lewandowski, Müller, and Serge Gnabry coming here to strengthen this side for pressing purposes. Immediately they have the ball and they can take a fullback away. They can deal with it. So those two can protect the defenders, Thiago and Goretzka, by having the ball. Kimmich can have a big space behind the wingers. Try to build here, strengthen this side. If we cannot progress, Goretzka or Thiago, and then we go to the other side. And then the wingers are coming, but they are coming very late. And then Bayern Munich is combining better. And we can talk about the good defending of the defenders of PSG, of Keylor Navas as well. You can say that PSG had counterattacks, had opportunities. They didn't have enough emotional control, I think, for taking the good decisions. They had opportunities in the break, but I think that they misused their pressing. They misused their pressing, and they commit error very early. At the end, Paris Saint-Germain can progress more, but Bayern Munich had better scenarios. It was with you, Amin Amor, from the Tactical Square, a UEFA certified coach. I hope that you enjoyed my analysis.